Hey, big road. Well, I make sure post up everybody good morning. Once you say good morning, I post you up. So everybody shout out good morning, going viral this morning. So all the persons who posting good morning, I posting you up. Yeah. Everybody good morning going up on the screen. Everybody good morning going up on the screen. Yeah. And I'm not moving because Jill have a grandson who does record me and then map me. So no more big road for me. Hey. Well, Bling has decided that this is the official Scoop song. When he's here, so it's that's the big tune for the big show, the big tune for the big show. You know what I mean? Wait, is that somebody wrestling in big show? Should ask your mommy. Yeah. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. Your mommy gonna know about that. You gonna know about that.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna know nothing about that. But your mommy gonna know about big show because your mommy love wrestling. Your mommy love wrestling. Good day, everybody. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in St. Michigan. It's slightly overcast. So like the rain will come. Morning, brother seals. Let me put you up this morning, top still morning, and Ian morning. Everybody morning getting post up this morning. Once you say good morning, getting post up. Jolly say getting post up this morning. Everybody getting post up this morning. So beautiful morning, slightly overcast. Okay, Rochelle. Okay, Rochelle. You too much this morning. That ain't getting the post up. That ain't getting one post up. You keep that by yourself, eh? All right. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's slightly overcast. Now today, later on today, we should be having the Mr. Youngman, could you mute your mic, please, because all this I'm going out. The no, hold on. Mute your mic. Anyway, so all right, I was just trying to start it out. All right. So rain is going to come it appears, and we need the rain. So I'm happy for that. The farmers will be happy, and and um, the earth would be smiling. All right. So it's because I was driving over the weekend, and I couldn't help noticing how brown the place was. You know. So I'm glad the rain is coming. I'm very happy the rain is coming. Later on, at 3 o'clock today, there will be the opening of the um right. There'll be. Oh, I was reading a comment there. Yes. Later on, there'll be the opening of the hard court in Chile, the refurbished hard court in Chile, and Chile Georgetown, not Chile South America. Um, Chile Georgetown. So this afternoon we should be journeying up to Georgetown to see that opening. That's just another of the facilities this government is upgrading to ensure that our sportsmen and our young people have facilities on which they can practice, they can express themselves athletically and so forth. Not one for people to have fed pan and mash up fence, but instead primarily for the use of sports, right? So that's happening this afternoon. On Sunday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, General Kisal Peters, was on the Issue at Hand program, and she was discussing. She spoke, for example, about the hard court in Grand Gate in Norman's area, Norman's Hill, that hopefully should be open soon. Yeah. Rochelle, it's your village. Take a man, come on, Canada. Uh, so we had recently the opening of the refurbished court in Green Hill. So lots of things are happening in the area of sports, and it sometimes boggles my mind when individuals try to project the narrative that the government isn't investing in sports. I mean, we just had a fantastic spectacle out at Annesville, and all of a sudden, it sometimes it actually annoys me. It actually annoys me when people act as if it wasn't necessary now. It wasn't necessary before. It's only now. So why y'all ain't doing this? And why y'all ain't doing that? And these things existed. These needs, the deficiencies that they're seeking to point out now, existed while their party was in power, and it wasn't done. And they love to tell you, no, let me not go back there. But why shouldn't we go back there? Why shouldn't we go back there? You love talk about how fantastic it was under the NDP and how you all had surplus and so forth. Then, and you talk about how mismanaged the country is. But everything of significance that the country wants and needs developmentally is happening under this government. So what's been happening with the surplus and let me saw then must be madam and the madam plus that y'all had? What was wrong with it? Where go? The NDP managed to make so fantastically that they had surplus. But we didn't have an international airport. Rabaka didn't have a bridge. More than half of students couldn't, 12-year-olds couldn't go to secondary schools. Limited spaces in schools. I mean, and it could go on and on and on. Or schools were in bad condition. And so I can go on about all of the issues that we had. While, according to them, the country was being so properly managed. Since the country has been under the governance of the ULP, they complain, oh, mismanagement. But it's under this government that we get universal access to secondary education. That everybody go in secondary school. It's under this government that we having hundreds of students going university. We having 73 national scholarship boards and exhibitions. 900 and something students getting tuition scholarship assistance. We build international airport. We build bridge over Rabaka. It's under this government that happened. So now the issue is why y'all in Lighten Annesville? So I met a comrade. I wouldn't call him a comrade. Although me and he had a little pick up and so on at one of the matches. And came to me. Same guy. He said, why are they lighting it? Why are they lighting it? We need to light here. So I asked him, I said, I want you to tell me, how do we guarantee or how can we be assured that the money we put into the lights would be justified by the use of the playing field and we're not just putting in lights to lights? Boy, how defensive so? Me say so defensive ask the question. But no, it's okay for you to defend on a radio station. But I say, I'm like, what's there? And let's talk about $5 million. I say, well, boss, means not about $5 million since then you talk. All we do is me ask you one question. I would love to see the Annesville playing field lighted. But can we be assured that the money we put in, whether it's 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, would be justified by the use of the facility when it's done? Because what many individuals fail to realize, is that in some countries, the major stadium that is lighted is the multi-purpose stadium. So the one where we have the athletics and the football and so forth is the one that is lit. No. Dominica, for example, they have a lighted stadium. We got a Mindu Philip. But does Dominica also have a multi facility, a multi events track like the stadium that we have, multi-event stadium like that we have? And so would they need to light two facilities, major facilities, or would it just be the one? It's a question now. So my question was, so the argument was, or his, let me not say his argument, his proposition was, look, cricket need to be night game because nobody leaving the work to come watch cricket. And I agree with that. But I asked him, I say, VPL aside, because VPL looked good on Sunday and so forth. I say, VPL aside, do you see these kind of crowds at cricket, even regional games, regional 50 over tournaments here? So who will come? Even because when you play the Windward Island tournament and the West Indies tournament and so on, Do you see people going down to park? Even when we have World Cup qualifying matches in football, the turnout is not great. But that is once every however long. So I'm saying to him, what is the assurance that when we do that, we're going to have it used? Now, it is for the federations and so on, because the government can build the facility, light it, and then organize events. So that's my question now. And I would love to see that the VPL starts maybe around 5 o'clock instead of 12. It starts at maybe 3 or 4, and it goes into the night and ends at 9, 10. I'd love that. I'd love that. I'd love that. But the 200 people that was going into the VPL during the week, it can't be that 200 people that we expecting to come when the lights go on at 6 o'clock. So if we have even the crowd that used to come on a Friday and 400-500 people, then I could live with that. I could live with that. But my issue, as I started off, is the insistence that, oh, when are they doing this? Look, the gorges at Noel and Overland, they always been there. They always been there. Then I just come there. No. The eruptions of La Soufrière highlighted a problem even greater with the lahars and so forth coming down. But the gorges were always there. And for 17 years, well, truth be told, if they had no interest in building the Raboka Bridge, at least do the smaller ones now. Put a bridge over those two gorges now. And I call them gorges, but they ain't really gorges, but you know what I mean. And it confuses me, and it confuses is the best word I could come with. It confuses me that individuals living above the Dry River, Vincent living above the Dry River, can be so insistent, especially those who supported the NDP all those years, criticize the NDP for being slow in the delivery of bridges promised, when for 17 years the party they supported and voted gave them nothing. As a matter of fact, that party did not even want to give them electricity. The famous quotation was, I ain't carrying it up there because you can't afford to pay for it. As opposed to, let me empower the residents above the Dry River so that they'll be able to pay for the electricity that I plan to carry. So this insistence, oh, what Labour doing? Labour slow. But you're commenting that, yeah, Labour might be slow on delivering, but they are delivering. They plan to deliver. They said they'll deliver. Oh, this one is bling on. This one is bling on. This one is yours. One. Come on, this one is yours bling. Is that yours? How they could talk about slow in delivery when nothing, no bridge at Noel, no bridge at Overland, no bridge at Raboka, anyone carry electricity. But today you're going to come and everything, oh, Labour this, Labour that. When Labour they slow, so long they say going open, it did it. I was informed, Bling, that there's an individual who lives over the Dry River who's going around talking about the bridge in all kind of ways. Remember, you know, it didn't surprise me when someone told me that somebody in above the Dry River going and say, oh, the bridge failed this test and the bridge failed that and the bridge today is right now. And sometimes when I see things, you give it legs, but I had to say it because I want to establish a pattern. These individuals try to speak their negativity into existence.
Yep.
The same individual who's talking about the bridge, aim pass, no test, and whatever, belongs to a party that wanted the Rabaka Bridge to wash away. That individual belonged to a party where the all-purpose engineer stood up in parliament and was talking about the kind of testing that was done at the runway and how it would fail. That individual belongs to a party where their supporters wanted a tsunami to wash through the airport. So it shouldn't surprise you that they will go about speaking falsehoods about the bridges because they do not want the bridges to succeed, even if it means that the access, his access, is limited. These are the people we have to deal with. They speak and they wish their negativity into. Listen, it is the strangest thing. If, God forbid, something happens and one the bridge caves in, they will rejoice. It must hurt them, and I can't understand it. And maybe you can explain to me. It must hurt them every day to drive past the bridge and see it there standing. They vex. Could you imagine that? You rather an event to bash the government, even if that event means jeopardizing the safety and the access of individual above the very river. Imagine that. That is where politics in this country has gone. Every time rain came, people went up to the Rabaka Bridge with cameras.
Yeah.
Every time rain came. They upset that they weren't the ones doing it. And because they didn't do it, they wanted to fail. Even if it means that St. Vincent and the Grenadines fails. I've said before that it is unfortunate when a major political party in this country adopts the position that suggests that in order for them to succeed, SVG must fail. It is a sad day. It is a sad day in this country when, think about it. I don't know if Vincentians understand this thing, comrades, listen. I'm going to tell you, and you can formulate your own opinion. They went and campaigned against the proposed constitution. They pretty much said we cannot allow Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP to succeed in doing this for us, in doing this for the country. They were up and down on the platform saying those things. And even in Parliament, Leacock says it's better, but I supported my party in voting against it. Because in their minds, success for the country meant success for the ULP. And they are willing and ready to block any type of success for the country if ULP go look good. And now, naturally, if that is their position, it stands to reason that they're saying, even if it means St. Vincent and the Grenadines failing. As long as we see a possibility of success, that's the option we take in. Why would you wish that the tsunami wash away the airport? Why would the former prime minister, the founder of the NDP, suggest that, listen, the day Ali make the airport they finish, couple smoke all the pipe. Why they want the port bill? Why they want we relocate the 40 families to Lomans? Nothing doing, they ain't going, nobody ain't moving, don't move. Why did they not support the education revolution and the move to universal access? Why did they suggest that putting plywood built structures in the school yard to accommodate more children, and especially in the case of the grammar school, was watering down the education system? Because Vincentians are not supposed to succeed. Vincentians succeeding under the ULP signals political failure for the NDP, and they can't have that. So they are willing to block any type of progress and or development in this country, because as far as they are concerned, development of SVG under the ULP is against the success of the NDP, and they are willing, ready, prepared, actively to ensure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines fails so that the NDP could succeed. That is why they supported the foolish attempt to write countries and ask them not to vote for St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be on the United Nations Security Council. They did that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Vincentians did that. And there was no rebuke from the NDP. There was no rebuke from the NDP. As a matter of fact, had we lost in our bid to secure a non-permanent seat on the Security Council, they would have rejoiced. If you notice, it took them 4 days after reflection for the leader of the opposition to comment on it. You have to reflect. That's like your Pitney come home and say, "Mommy, Daddy, I graduated in university, I have a first class honor." And you walk away. You go in your room. And 4 days later, they come and say, "Well, son, after reflection, after much reflection on what you told me last week about your graduation and your first class honor, I believe it is, as a father, I should come and say, well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing." Well, first of all, from the time you walk away, partner start to ball. Big man. Big man thing. Yeah. Anyway, ask me, Daddy, what mean, Daddy, you have to reflect. I come tell you, I get my degree first class honors, and Daddy, you have to reflect and come 4 days later to tell me congrats. They are always ready and willing, the first to be out there in the blocks to bash this country once they think there is something political to be gained. But I can't see what is to be gained politically by bashing this country. I can't see it. But that party actively engages in bashing St. Vincent Grenadines because that is where they think their political equity lies. That's how they think they gain politically. But I tell you something. As long as we keep our eyes focused, as long as we remain informed, we're going to see it from a mile off. And we will be able to address it correctly, appropriately. And when they come with the song and dance and the hop and skip, we could tell them, no, I see you from a mile off. Mass, I know you. Mass, I know you. You know, expect more. Because that is the MO. That is the MO. In order for the NDP to succeed, SVG must lose. Now this morning we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to take some short breaks, right? Because I had some segments planned. The next segment I want to jump into is passports, because we're going to talk about Taiwan. And I was involved in an interesting discussion on WFM yesterday morning, with Dr. Thompson Crystal. And a lady called in and asked about passport and what is wrong with passport selling and so on and so forth. So I addressed that this morning too. So we're going to take a quick break, a few ads. When we come back, I'm going to address the issue. Because remember, the switching from Taiwan to China is hinged completely and solely on the ability, on their plans to sell Vincentian passports. Nothing more, nothing less. We're exposing that when we come back. Don't go away.
As beautiful as they are, durable and strong, tested and proven to perform and protect. The Impact Aluminum Heavy-Duty Window at Kendra's Aluminum Products brings quality, craftsmanship, contemporary styling, and a modern look to any home. This industry-leading design features sleek hardware and easy operation with safety locking systems on both panels. A window far more than functional and engineered to be both durable and elegant. From traditional to contemporary, our hardware comes in a variety of architectural styles and finishes to meet your aesthetic needs and design goals to ensure that you find the right fit. Visit our showroom today and ask about the Impact Aluminum Heavy-Duty Window. Kendra's Aluminum Products exports to all islands in the Caribbean region. Call our export team today for assistance. Kendra's Aluminum Products Limited, a tradition of excellence. Out with the old, in with the new. In the past, you complained when we failed. We listened and went back to the drawing board. At last, a new, fresh beginning. A fresh face, a new product. International Standard Metals A792 presents Galvalume, an aluminum roofing metal branded best used for roofing material, tested and proven to be of superior quality. Get wider coverage for the best prices on the island. We offer a variety of colors, including zinc sheets. Also, take advantage of our unique roofing patterns, U-panel, industrial, and crimp Spanish style. Visit us at the Diamond Industrial Estate. Call us at 784-456-9900 or email bmlsvg@gmail.com. Galvalume, a product of International Standard Metals. That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Falls Avenue and in Arnesvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain, Cooper Tires, king of the road and track, Ostone, the king of the outback, and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467 or in Arnisvale 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road.
Beautiful white and black sand beaches, lush mountains and valleys, rivers, hidden waterfalls, and multiple islands and islets. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are a friendly people, welcoming tourists from all over the world with exotic boutique and luxury hotels and a hospitable business environment. Let's make all tourists welcome at our international airport, on cruises, on yachts, on sailboats, on land and sea tours, at beach lines, at our restaurants, shops and bars, and at our national festivals. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it,
At
embrace
the
it.
People's Pharmacy, we've put our mission at the center of our name. We are people-centered, and every day we renew this commitment to providing products and services that help our valued customers lead healthier and happy lives. The People's Pharmacy fills prescriptions promptly and accurately, and also offers a wide range of vitamins and supplements, plus generic medication for everything from an upset stomach to the common cold. We offer toiletries and baby care items, skin care and hair care items too. All that coupled with a friendly, knowledgeable, and efficient staff to ensure customer satisfaction every time you shop. The People's Pharmacy offers extended opening hours, 8 in the morning to 8 p.m., Mondays through Saturdays. For more information, give us a call at 456-1170. The People's Pharmacy. We go further to serve you better.
Play for and win even more. National Lottery has more cash in store. 4 numbers from 0 to 9. And 5 grand with $1 in line. Base 4 and back into 2. There'll be lots of cash waiting for you. Choose for Monday to Saturday. Go get your tickets, it's so easy to play. When you play for, you win even more.
She love the road, the road, the road. She say everything, everything. Must be big, so big. Big speaker, big chop, big wheel. Big road, big road, big road, big road. We wind up and we grind up and get on that and walk she man. Big road, big road, big road. She want a big road. From the time she see the road, from the time she touch the road, she start wind up and get the road. She want me to leave this like she sold. She want a strong man who can jump she up on the street. One who can handle it and mix it up, make it sweet. No little than, just bigger than the highway in Tokyo, Japan. She want to space to when she waist. Cause if the road too small, it's traffic jam in the place. She want big road, big road, big road, big road. We wind up and we grind up and get on bad and walk she man. Big road, big road, big road. She want a big road, and she business in the road. travel. When she want me back and I'll big road, big road. When she want me to go, Monday and Tuesday. Big road, big road. She love the road, the road, the road. She say everything, everything, everything must be big, so big. Big speaker, big truck, big wheeler. Big road, big road, big road, big road. We wind up on, we grind up on, and get on that and walk she man. Big road, big road, big road. She want it big road. From the time she see the road, from the time she touch the road, she start wind up and get in the road. She want feel the bassline in she soul. She want to stop and who can jump she up on the street. One who can handle it and mix it up, make it sweet. No little than, just bigger than.
All right, we're back. Now, Audrey morning. How are you doing? And there's bad song. About on Facebook, while on YouTube. Okay. I'm able to see here who's on YouTube and who's on Facebook. No. Yesterday, there was a discussion going on BFM between Dr. Thompson and Christoph. And it had to do with the sale of passports. Now, remember, we said that the single motivating factor for the NDP to want to switch from Taiwan to China is so that they could sell some passports. Individuals linked to their campaign and financing their campaign allegedly have interests in the selling of Vincentian passports. Now, to understand that, we have to appreciate the significance or the connection. We have to understand the linkage. And why is the passport so important? The passport that you have, the document of citizenship and your earnings, allows you to travel from one state to the other. Travel document. It has information about you on it. This document, the greater the security features, the higher the integrity of the document. So countries want to know what is your legal framework within which your passport application and granting of passport operates, and how difficult it is to replicate. What are some of the security features in it that would enable immigration across the world, immigration departments or offices across the world to spot fakes easily, know which is the real and which one is not. People do fake passports, and so the more difficult that your passport is to replicate, the more safe and the higher the reputation of your passport. St. Vincent and Grenadines is one of the few OECS and CARICOM countries who have implemented the electronic passport. A number of CARICOM countries still operate with machine-readable passports, which we've gone past a long time ago. So the machine-readable one is the one that you will swipe like a credit card now in the thing. The e-passport has the chip in it. So we continue to improve the integrity of our passports by implementing proper safety measures, safeguard measures, security measures in the passport. We have good passport, safe passport, top of the line security feature. Added to that, based on negotiations with foreign governments, our country had been able to establish visa-free travel to a number of other states across the world. If you were paying attention when Prime Minister was speaking last week, when the special envoy from the Office of the President of the United Mexican States was here, you would have heard PM saying that the discussion now, one of the discussions now that we have in Mexico is to facilitate visa-free travel for citizens to Mexico. Because Mexicans already come here without visas. We want to facilitate that. A Vincentian can take the passport, go to Mexico without having to apply for a visa. Now, let me say also that there are generally three classes of passports: a diplomatic passport, a service or official passport, and a regular passport. A lot of countries, including the Netherlands, has visa-free waiver for diplomatic passports. So once a diplomatic passport, a lot of countries you can go to, no visa required. Right? For the negotiations between governments could result in that privilege being extended to official passport holders as well as regular passport holders. But those are discussions. On the Henley Index, I'm going somewhere with this now. You go learn this morning. Those of you who don't know. They rank the value of passport, and one of the things that they use, or the major indicator that they use on their website, if you go on Henley and Partners, is the number of countries you have access to without visa. So Mr. Gwen's, I think, is number 3 or 4 in CARICOM in terms of the value of the passport relative to access, visa-free access to countries. I believe we are second in the OECD in terms of access. And that access, like I said, visa-free access is granted through negotiations. Now, keep in mind while we're having this discussion that Vincentians up until recently were able to travel to Canada without visas. And it was the irresponsible action of politicians and others here, admittedly, that created a situation where Canada decided that they were going to now start imposing visa restrictions. And so now, Vincentians have to go to Trinidad to apply for a Canadian visa to access to enter Canada. The irresponsible actions of individuals erroneously and dishonestly filing for refugee status with the assistance of politicians, the admitted assistance of politicians, created that situation that we have. I could say, without water in my mouth, and honest, fair-minded people would agree that the NDP politicians who dishonestly aided and abetted criminals and others, admittedly, because they went on a decision and say, how people come to them and ask them for letter and so on, to go to Canada, are responsible for the revocation of visa-free travel that we had with Canada and the implementing of the visa restrictions. So they don't knock one country for the visa-free list. Thank you very much, NDP. The truth is that the plans to sell passport will cause further reduction in the number of states that we can travel to visa-free. Only a matter of time. So, I remember visiting my sister in Montreal and going to Toronto back in, I think it's 2008 or thereabout. Jump on plane. For Canada, no visa. Many Vincentians were able to jump on plane, go to Canada. But then people started going up and filing dishonestly for refugee status. And they had the stamp of approval of certain NDP politicians who admitted that they did. And even after repeated warnings by the Prime Minister, by the government, they still continued, and eventually Canada stopped it and imposed visa restrictions. So now it's difficult. There is now an additional layer that Vincentians must cross to go to Canada. Well, a layer, because there was one before. The only layers that were there was the cost of the travel. Once you could get the money and you could satisfy the immigration question when you get there, you're good. Now, there is an additional layer because you have to get the visa. You have to get the visa. There are some countries in this world where their citizens and residents, because of whether it's conflict, because of sanctions, because of criminal activity, those citizens, a number of those citizens, or citizens from those countries, have a difficult time accessing visas to go to the States, to go to Canada, to go to Europe, to go to England. St. Vincent and Grenadines, generally speaking, would be able to access visa to the States, visa to Canada. We travel to England without visa, we travel to Europe without visa. And so our passports are valuable because individuals from countries where there are visa challenges who want to go to those countries can't get to go. They are willing to pay money to get to those countries. But those countries like Europe and so on have a problem with other countries like ours acting as gateway to their countries for criminals and undesirables. And the EU is linked. Their system is linked. So once you enter the EU, the Schengen zone once, you good. You ain't got prison passport nowhere else. You just walking in and out of a plane. I remember the first time I experienced it. I had gone to, I believe, Barcelona. And while I was in Barcelona, I decided, boy, I'm going to visit my partner Richard in Germany. So I took a flight from Barcelona, and the flight landed in Düsseldorf about 10:30 at night. When I walked up the plane and walked into the airport empty. I'm dead serious. Nobody, no immigration. Nothing. I walked straight through. Go on the bus. Gone. Brian Richard. And I remember sitting down with Richard and saying to him, boss, if I go from St. Vincent to Barbados, or St. Vincent to St. Lucia, is that a question? Where you doing here for? Coming here for? Where you going to stay? How long are you going to stay? All of that. But I come from St. Vincent, I land in Barcelona, and I'm able to walk off a plane in Germany straight through. That is the power of the passport. No visa. So when countries like ours act as gateway for individual citizens from countries that have challenges with the Schengen state, with the UK and so on, it causes a problem for us. Those immigration and government authorities start questioning, wait. So wait, that's how criminals, that's how people who are sanctioned and so on getting into our country with St. Vincent passport. And so it shines a light on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in the same way, the NDP caused a situation where we now have to get visas to go to Canada. If they ever win and start sell passport, you have seen the threats over and over. So countries like St. Kitts and Antigua and so on have always to be jumping troops and adjusting this because they're always under threat from those states because of their citizen by investment program. Always. Don't take my word for it. Google it. Those EU and other states are always threatening to withdraw visa-free access because of the challenges they're having with the citizen by investment program. So we already see NDP knock off one of the countries you could have traveled to visa-free. You want to add England now to the list? We still can travel relatively free to England. Number of young people leave and go up there, go to the Navy and the Army. Some of them even unregistered, undocumented, go do a little babysitting work and so on. They get through. One or two of them might get turned back when they can't answer the question of immigration, but generally speaking, they get through. You want to lose that? You have a persistent caller. I'm going to take the call. Please don't complain that I wasn't taking the call because I had a point to make. Yeah. Right. You know? Yeah, okay. So I'll take the call. Okay, the call coming back. Right? You want to lose that? No. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Two things. I have made so many things as a deputy because I refuse to write letters for persons who wanted me to do so, stating that they're refugees, because I was at pains to explain to them what could happen, but people didn't want to listen.
Didn't want to listen.
People didn't want to listen. But if you have a little you would have common sense, you would know that that was not only wrong, it was an immoral thing to do, and will, as we see now, serious repercussions for a country. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember the days when our passport was a picture sticking?
Yes.
With that shape?
With a seal, with a seal stamp over it, so you could, yes, of course.
So all somebody had to do, they get your passport, they could easily take out that picture and put in there.
Yep.
Could you tell the country, please?
And it was handwritten. Remember that too.
Yes.
Don't forget that. It was handwritten.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell the country, please. Lest people forget which administration is responsible for us having our now foolproof electronic passport. Tell the country, please. Tell the country. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Well, and that's a valid point. Our passport used to be green, handwritten passport. The picture sticking inside it. Mine was horrible. I had a passport that was probably about maybe 18, 17. So you see the face full of pimple and all kind of thing. I had some big junk of glasses and things, but it's a shame to pull out the passport. And watch me now. Like, I had a passport since me maybe 1991 or there about 1992. But I applied for a visa in the passport. That was a 10-year visa. Right, what the boy? A 10-year passport. Can't remember what was. Because I remember I had tie and thing. And my visa was in the passport there. So even after I got the machine readable passport in 2007, I still had to be walking around with this green passport with that grotesque photograph inside it to hand to immigration officials. 2007, we got a machine readable passport. And I think it's 2000 and maybe 13 or 14, we went to e-passports. We've been in e-passports now for almost 10 years now. Almost 10 years. So this government has done significant work to improve the security features of our passports. Look, before we came into office, you used to have passport scanner in America, because passport make America. And I'm telling you, as someone who worked in the consulate, that people would come with the green passport to renew. And there is absolutely no way of determining how they came about that green passport. Because remember now, our country allows for different types of citizens. Citizens by birth. You bring your passport, you bring your birth certificate, and you could apply for your passport. If you fill out the form, apply for your passport. You can be a citizen by descent. So all you do, you bring your parents' passport, birth certificate, your birth certificate, and you could apply. Once your parent is a Vincentian, automatically you are entitled to a Vincentian passport, you have Vincentian. Then they're the marriage one and the naturalized one. If you're married and naturalized, you bring them documents there. But when somebody come, they're not by birth, they're not by descent, they're not marriage, they don't have the documentation for that they were naturalized. So how do you get the passport? Anyone renew it? It's this government here. This government here had to stop that, and all passports are made in Kingston, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and sent to the applicants. All. So after doing all of that work to improve the integrity of your passport, to improve the reputation of the country, to increase visa-free access to different countries, before 2015, St. Vincent and the Grenadines required visas to go to the Schengen zone. I would know, because like I was telling you, when I went to Barcelona in 2010, I believe, 2011, I had to apply for a visa. As a matter of fact, I remember in one instance, I tried to get the visa from the French embassy in, I think I was going to Belgium. I had to try to get a visa from the French embassy in St. Lucia. I got to St. Lucia, couldn't walk. Too late. Didn't know enough time, so it was a connecting flight. I just go on business. Got to the UK, and thankfully at the time, I made me connections early o'clock while I was in St. Lucia. At the time, Dr. Doris Charles was Minister Counsel, I believe, at the High Commission in the UK, and she was able to facilitate me at the Belgian consulate. And I got there and got my visa, and then I was able to go over to Belgium. We required visas to go to Schengen, Germany, Spain, Belgium, France. We needed visas. As a matter of fact, there's an interesting story when I was in Azerbaijan, and I was going to visit Richard, and I applied for a German visa at the German embassy. Well, the Schengen visa. And they turned me down. 2013. They turned me down. I'll continue the story. Just now, because I call coming in. I got to continue the story. Carlo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Spian and my brother.
Good morning.
Yes, man. I just want to steer a little bit from what you're saying there. Just a little bit.
Why?
And I'm coming back to it. No, I hear NDP saying that they will be blocking that they're not going on this one kind of policy and all this kind of thing because but I want to tell Vincent, whatsoever NDP say, or whatever sue them, what they say in the front, they only saying that to Mama Gayo. They STL must tell them to say that. Because trying to help them already and they ain't be so brave to just say that. Somebody had to tell them to say that. And they ain't go mind. But when they get in office,
no, but hold on. Step in.
Hey.
Did you hear anybody in the leadership? Did you hear Dr. Friday say anything about reviewing their policy?
No?
Okay, so then where's the discussion? The NDP has not said so.
Yeah.
The NDP has not said they're reviewing their policy.
Well, I think they want to talk about one China policy. Bamba was saying the other day.
Well, the one China policy,
with Taiwan.
the one China policy is the policy that they subscribe to. That's what they say.
Exactly. Well, but I want to pay attention to know that with the change in the mind, and they can't change their mind because what happened? They not understand government business, and just what they say is what they're going by. If they tell anything that they change their mind, they just hold when because it's a pain to see what people are fooling. Everything, economy bad, economy this, economy that, people can't buy food, people can't buy that, but yet you're seeing some trucks on the road that with 10 and 15 wheels. You've seen houses going up there, you've seen business going up there. And then the Garden Friday talking about, oh boy, a vibrant, he's going to make it a vibrant economy. I wonder if Garden Friday could spell vibrant economy. All them kind of things they do. Them criticizing airports to bring development in, so they say too much work. You just say you have to go austerity because do like Barbados, cut work and cut job out, but yet them come in and talk about job. So one television said that anything they say, then I mean nothing like that. What they mean is destruction, all they care about themselves, and to see how much they could help themselves, to help the country down and destroy your health and all them kind of things. So because they don't care enough, boy. And when coming on the passport, them fellas and them, you like they put civilians on blacklist. And right now with the passport business, Europe, everybody guarding that. They say it's a criminal act and everything. It don't to come and come out and say that. This work with criminal people in the passport business. And yet they never change. If they tell them to change their mind, they're not going to change no mind on the passport. Because just like how they are civilians and blacklist last time, worse than them civilians on blacklist coming now. To put you more than on blacklist. And if we guarding again, we've been sent some people guarding against all that. The NDP coming. They're coming to do all this kind of thing. They don't care where go on blacklist. Whether you ban you and you can't go to this and you can't go to England free, with them going and sell passport. So my brother, that's why I want to say happy birthday to Selma.
All right, buddy. All right, Selma, come right happy birthday to you as well. So yes, 2014 or 2013. So I planning to go Easter break, go by Richard for a couple of days. They turned me down. But luckily, that system allows you to appeal the decision. So I wrote a letter of appealing the decision, and submitted it to the embassy, outlined about 7 or 8 points. The fact that I've had multiple Schengen visas before, at least 3. I've never overstayed. I've never once broke the terms of my and the conditions of the visa. You know, I mean, different 7 points, and I sent the letter to the embassy. Within hours, I got an email to bring me passport, and I got the visa. We can't go back to a situation where we require visa to go to the UK, to go to the Schengen zone, and we can't go to a situation where we require visa to go to England. So we have to reject the selling of passports, because the selling of passports jeopardizes that free movement that we now have. The selling of passport jeopardizes that free movement that we now have. We have a call. Let's see the call wants to connect to you. So when you hear the talking, listen. Fool a talk, but a fool a listen. Caller, good morning.
Ms. Marshall did not just let me say another thing. Did not the directive come out recent times from the United Nations concerning countries to sell passports?
From the EU. From the EU.
Hello?
From the EU. From the European Union.
Just from the European
Yes,
Union?
from the European Union. Because remember the European Union is a bloc, right? The UN is not a bloc. The European Union is a bloc, and they sent out a warning for countries with CIP and threatened to impose visa restrictions to individuals from those countries entering the European Union, the Schengen zone.
All right.
Yes. It wasn't the UN, it was the EU.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. They decided, they put out the advisory. And so that is a real threat. That they don't make up nothing. If they don't make up nothing. You want us to go back to having to require visas? We came on him with a passport that was subject to all kind of abuse. This government has done work, created the legal framework, put in the security measures and so forth to ensure the integrity of our document. And we continue to negotiate with countries to allow for visa-free access. And all the NDP could be thinking, sitting down, is like the fox. Sit down with the hands full and a licky lip. The chicken I get fat. I can't wait for farmer leave. Eh? They can't wait to get into office. To abuse the document that we've worked so hard to establish a secure document that has high value. And we have to be the guardians of that. We have to be the guardians of the sanctity of that document. So the lady who asked the question, but she probably isn't listening in this program now. But she was listening here, friend. We have to safeguard the document. And if that is all you want to do, switch from Taiwan to China so you could sell some passports. Because interestingly enough, the statement by the former leader of the opposition didn't say at all why they were going to switch. He did not discuss with Vincentians the philosophy, the principle behind this switch. All he said is that they are officially accepting the United Nations norm of the One China policy, where mainland China is the representative and they're switching from the mainland and leaving the province. What is the philosophy? What is the principle behind the intended switch? Well, what is the philosophy behind the switch? Because you already switched. And coming into government you would then now affect your party's position on a government level. But currently, the party doesn't recognize Taiwan. The ULP can tell you that we support Taiwan based on the UN Charter that speaks to the fundamental right of people, the right of self-determination, the right to independence, and so forth. That's our principle. A United Nations accepted principle. I believe the legal term used to describe that principle in chart is, well, however you pronounce it, Jus Cogens, spelled Juscogens. It's one of those norms from which there's no derogation. The right to self-determination. We support Taiwan based on that principle. That fundamental principle of international law. Right to self-determination. What is yours, NDP? What principle are you using Because listen, if you come and bring to me international law and international norms, let me discuss it. I can tell you the reason why the ULP and the government of Seminole Iranians supports Taiwan. It is the reason why Milton Cato supported Taiwan. And over the 17 years of governance of the NDP, most of which the former Prime Minister James Mitchell led, they supported Taiwan. So what is your principle? What was the principle behind Arnim Eustace's intention to switch? And the continued insistence by Godwin Friday that they're going to switch. What's the principle? What's the reason? It ain't international law. It ain't the right to self-determination. It ain't inviolability. It ain't sovereignty and independence. What is the reason? Tell me the principle. We have a call coming in, it look like. Tell me the principle. We come back. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Again,
Uh-huh.
you probably also need to point out to the populace that if it's passport status, you might hear passport get sold for 200,000 US. Nearly half of the money not coming to the country. The middlemen, the lawyers, the people who facilitate the thing, they get that big cut out of that. So even though it may sound good to some people, but in addition to the problems that you're highlighting, the money that some eventually end up in the country is not the full amount that is usually that the people even pay for their passport.
Mm.
That's right.
Mhm. Mhm. And more than that, even the money that come to the country, all of it may not end up in the coffers of the government either. Look, that same situation that the caller raised about middleman. You know, one of the first cases before the ICJ. Is it the ICJ, boy? On using the law of the sea. Is a case involving a ship, a St. Vincent registered ship. Mhm. And when you look at the documents, who represented people from, you had Carlisle, you had I think Carl Joseph, and some lawyers from Europe, because middleman in Europe was running the ship registry, and there was very little control and oversight over that scheme under the NDP. Very little control. We didn't know. We were represented. We were registering ships, and the host country supposed to be responsible for the seaworthiness of the ship that is registered. There was no oversight because people up in Europe were in charge of that. Very little oversight. Very little thing. There was more corruption in that scheme than anything else. And I could tell you, if ever the NDP implements the selling passport scheme using middlemen in Europe, it is same kind of corruption we could be exposed to the passports to. Same kind of corruption. What's cases? Ship gets seized. Vincent flag ship gets seized. I think it's in Guinea-Bissau or one of those or one of those West African countries. Ship flag Vincent flag got seized. Took the matter to the ICJ. One of the first cases on the law, see. If not the first case. The first case. Let's take this call. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, comrade.
Good morning, comrade.
Okay. And Labour Party people.
I just read your message and I say you connect good time. All right, I see you. I see you.
Yes, sir. In addition to what you said about NDP politicians boasting about writing letters to people to seek refugee status in Canada, please do not forget that they also boasted that criminals approach them for money to buy bullets.
Yes.
Do not forget that, comrade.
And now apparently, sister, prostitutes are posting them to tell them, boy, that's just thing. And man, not for me.
There is a saying that loose lips sink ship.
Yes.
It is the loose lips of the NDP politicians that have us in this position with visa requirements for Canada now.
Yes.
Because now they need to screen us to see who is the criminal who can get money from politicians to buy bullets, or a letter after they have committed their criminal act
to run out,
to run and go and hide in Canada.
Yes.
And as you say, if we are not careful, the only place Vincentians will be able to travel to is between the Grenadine Islands. If we are to make that mistake and elect the New Democratic Party from it, the only place we'll be able to travel will be between the Grenadine Islands. We'll be only able to visit one another. Because no country wants us to pass through it. Not even the OECS will not arrange it. Because they will see a bunch of crooks and criminals, and because they will not be able to differentiate between who is who, an entire country will suffer.
Agreed.
Look at the crime situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Any of those committed by persons who may have been given money to buy bullets? It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Have a great day, comrade.
Thank you very much, comrade. Thank you very much. Well, me I say no. Like my good friend Monica calling. Me not hear from Monica for how long, Bling. And all Monica could call you with this, I will say, is if the woman go talk to you because the woman a complaint to one client. Monica makes sense. Monica makes sense. You know, one of the things individuals may not be mindful of or may not have been thinking of, there are a number of Vincentians who go overseas young. They go overseas young, America, Canada. And while they develop or get caught up in a life of crime, and then those individuals are deported to St. Vincent Islands. And very often, we may not know the level of criminality those and the experience and support that those individuals are bringing back to St. Vincent Grenadines to not only perpetrate personally, but also to groom and teach and lure others into the trade. Because a lot of the kind of crime that arresting them, especially homicides and the drive-bys and so on. Listen, I mean, the point blank shooting in the head, run up, pop, gone. Seriously? But we go back to the issue of the passport as we bring the program to a close. The NDP is caught in a tailspin. And I believe that we must hold their foot to the fire. Because in the absence of a real credible, rational, principled reason for the switch, I am convinced that it is because they want to sell the country's passport. If China, in power, economic and military, they've always been there. You were in office for 17 years. They do not exude They do not exude, they do not practice the democratic principles that you adhere to as the NDP. As a matter of fact, they practice the type of governance that you criticize the ULP for aligning itself, the country with, in terms of Venezuela and Cuba and so forth. So that's one. So when I ask you, what Taiwan, on the other hand, is a thriving democracy in Asia. So when I ask for the principle behind the switch, you can't tell me it's based on the love of democracy and the advancement of democracy across the world, because China ain't democratic. So you ain't leaving a democratic country to align with a communist country because of a love and an appreciation for the forwardance of democracy. So that's all. It can be because of an anti-colonialist, anti-hegemonic principle, because China is clearly a hegemon in Asia and is seeking to expand it in Africa and other places. So it ain't that. It ain't because of the record on human rights and fundamental freedom. Can't be that why you're switching from Taiwan to China. It cannot be based on the principle of self-determination, respect for sovereignty, and independence. Non-interference and non-interference. It can't be because of that. So what fundamental international principle, NDP, are you using as your rationale behind switching from Taiwan to China? I know the ability to sell Vincentian passports. We get assistance from Taiwan, economic and otherwise, grants and loans, soft loans. If you look around us, Grenada, Dominica, and all the other CARICOM countries, the only 3 countries in CARICOM that support out of 14, 3 support I think 4, because I think Haiti does, but I'm not sure about Haiti. Same as the Grenadines, St. Kitts, Belize, St. Lucia, 4 countries in CARICOM support Taiwan. And as you look around, I can't see the other countries in CARICOM benefiting to a greater degree from the benevolence and the economic prowess of China than we have Taiwan. They get loans, soft loans, we get soft loans. We get grants. I don't know if China give grants, but we get grants. We get grants to support YES program, SET program, on-site program, women in entrepreneurship program, and we can go on. Scholarships to students here. So it can be based on the economic advancement of citizens and Grenadines. But in selling passports, you could get some money in the pockets of politicians. Like was revealed in Grenada the other day. Bling. Monies can end up in constituency, council, bank account. That should be in the treasury. Those are the reasons why you want to sell passport. But we in this country, we are going to ensure that that is the focus of a referendum come elections. We know a vote for NDP is a vote against Taiwan, is a vote for selling the passports, and we are going to reject that. And it don't matter how much distraction you use, how much spin you are spin, about gill and gill in the hook in the gill and beautiful woman coming. It don't matter how much distraction. When it done spin, and you don't dance, and you don't dingle, and you turn around, tie one in your face. When you don't spin and try to distract and ding and that, when you turn around, selling passport in your face. We will remain focused on the issues. You ain't away from them, no, the ULP beating you on issues. And no, when it comes to the issues, the majority of incentives that only said ULP. And so we can't come down into your realm of distraction and commerce because you're winning in that. You're winning in that. When it comes to commerce and small talk and distraction, you're winning there. So we are avoiding that discussion. We are avoiding the commerce talk. We are avoiding the small talk. We are avoiding the distraction talk. We're keeping the issue because we know once we stay on issue, we win in the discussion. And so we're keeping that. Well, God's willing, Brother Bling, I'm going to make the announcement right now. That tomorrow morning and Thursday morning, I would not done the scoop. But tomorrow morning, you should be having the link up between 7 o'clock on NBC Radio. But we will try and organize guests for Brother Bling for Thursday. So don't worry. Log on, make sure you log on early because we're going to be in the house. We're going to be on. All right? We're going to be on. Bling will be here and making the vibe nice as usual. So don't worry. Log on. But the next time you hear from me on Star would be. Anyway, have a good day. Until next time, God's willing, we will talk.